Welcome to Outdoor Adventures with Jayson. Each week I bring the world of hunting, fishing, and conservation to you. From the great hunting and fishing opportunities found in the Americas to the dream safaris located on the dark continent and beyond. I'll introduce you to those who are already out in the field living every outdoor enthusiast's dream, as well as outfitters and gear manufacturers that can make those dreams your reality. Kill and Sticks arrows are for the serious hunter, a company that understands the needs of the outdoorsman and provides 5 different styles of carbon fiber arrows, ranging from hunting to tournament arrows. If you want premium carbon fiber arrows, go to Kill and Sticks, KILLNSTIX.com to review their carbon arrows. For listeners of the Outdoor Adventures with Jayson show, use promo code OUTDOORS to get 10% off your first order. Kill and Sticks, where the blood trail begins. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Outdoor Adventures with Jayson. I'm really excited. You're about to hear a great episode, but this is my 50th episode I've released, and I can't believe it's gone so well, and I've had so much fun doing this. I've met a lot of great people, and I encourage you, head over to my website, www.oawjs.com, where you can listen to all the past episodes. Contact me if you want to be on the show, if you have a neat story to tell. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe to the podcast. And also, please head over to iTunes and leave a review of the show. That's really helpful, and it allows others to find the show and just keep continuing to grow. And make sure, more than anything, you join groups like powderhook.com, National Wild Turkey Federation, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. These groups, along with your local sportsmen's clubs, are really important to the preservation of the hunting and fishing lifestyle. Speaking of fishing, if you're into it, stay tuned. I have some upcoming episodes that are going to feature some great anglers and really start to spotlight some fishing that I haven't had a chance to talk about so far. It's been fantastic, these first 50 episodes. I really have enjoyed it. I've talked to and interviewed just an amazing group of people. From the first episode to the 50th, I've just had such a neat time talking with everybody, and they're great acquaintances, and I look forward to meeting and seeing of them many times at shows like the Dallas Safari Club show, or this year I'm hoping to actually attend the NWTF convention. I encourage you to get out there, become a mentor, bring somebody into the hunting field, get your hunting license, and just do all the things you can to support the hobby, support the lifestyle, and I hope you enjoy this episode, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Welcome to this week's episode of Outdoor Adventures with Jayson. I'm very excited today because I've got 2 people that are just very, very prominent in the outdoor industry. I've got Scott and Angie Denny on the line, owners and guides at Table Mountain Outfitters and on the television show The Life. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great. How about you?
Oh, fantastic. Tell me a little bit about the background of Table Mountain Outfitters, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, we started in 1996. We purchased Table Mountain Outfitters because my husband went guiding a couple years before that and just decided he loved it down here, and he guided for Table Mountain. And so we ended up working out a deal and purchasing the business in 96, and we've been doing the same thing ever since.
And Scott, you're also with us. When you were a guide, you came down out of Idaho, Montana. Where was it?
We're both from Washington State. Tried doing a little guiding in Washington State. Just didn't work out real well. Started guiding for Table Mountain. I think it was 93 I started guiding for Table Mountain Outfitters and fell in love with Wyoming and had to figure out a way to get out here. And we figured it out and bought it in 96, like Angie says, and been going strong ever since.
So at that point, I was pregnant with our daughter. So we moved from Washington to Wyoming when I was pregnant with her, and I moved down in 97, and so she was born here in Wyoming, away from all the grandparents and family.
Oh, I can certainly understand that, and so it makes it rough. You want to go back all the time for them to visit.
Yes and no. We love it here so much, it's hard to go home except for to see them. So.
And as you talk about Wyoming, it's really become a spot that I've taken a great interest in, and I never quite thought about just the sheer quantity of animals, from your big apex predators like your wolf and your grizzly down to just the prairie dog that you can have a little target practice on. And you guys cover the whole gamut of that, do you not?
Well, of course, grizzly bears you can't hunt yet. Wolves, because of politics have been put back and forth on the endangered species list, so we don't get to hunt those yet. We do all our black bear mountain lion hunts in Idaho, but we, the stuff that we do here, we primarily focus on the elk, the pronghorn antelope, mule deer, whitetail, that kind of stuff. So, but the Wyoming, it does have, just a great variety of species and some big animals too.
Well, and the sheer multitude of numbers is what really makes, the hunting down here worthwhile. I mean, it's really well managed and there's lots of numbers.
If somebody were to contact y'all to book an elk hunt, I'll use that as an example because there is a lot of footage of various elk hunts that y'all have done. And it's great. You offer a number of different options for elk, from the way people stay and guided, and you even offer something called a guaranteed hunt. Can you speak to that?
Well, that's just it's a guaranteed shot is what it is at a 6-point bull. It's just something that we thought would give some hunters some confidence in what we can do, and it's worked out well. We don't do a ton of them, but we do a few every year. It helps people give it a little confidence in us.
Well, and based on what I've watched with y'all, that would be the last of my concerns, is that a guaranteed shot. Your guys' reputation is so darn strong, and the animals I see you just repeatedly put people on is unbelievable.
It's pretty fun.
It has a lot to do with the ground that we get to hunt, the guides that we have. It helps us look real good.
Well, and again, I want to focus on elk hunting for a minute. If somebody's coming out for, say, an archery elk hunt, I'll start off with that. And they're coming from the East Coast, because this is a lot of folks, or even down here in Texas, where we have a draw for many animals, but you've got a different terrain. And what should they be prepared for?
A lot of walking. Archery elk hunting, it doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to have to walk quite a bit. It doesn't mean you have to, be a marathon runner or anything like that. You do need to be prepared to walk and shoot, of course. That's the hard part, because it's hard to practice for that kind of an adrenaline rush. When you have a big bull standing in front of you at 40 yards and is bugling, and it's something you've been dreaming about for 20 years, it's hard to keep it under control.
I completely agree. And the listeners have heard this before, but a few years back I went to Africa, and you're so used to seeing these animals in the zoo that the first animal I shot and took was a zebra. And all I can explain is it was buck fever. I was shaking so bad. I was like, I'm completely going to mess this thing up. So being 30 or 40 yards from an elk that's bugling and all, mad and thrashing the brush and looking for, cows, I can imagine that.
Pretty intense.
Yeah, that's the least of the words I could use for it. For listeners that are out there, in my particular case, I happen to be mobility impaired. So I'm not able to do long walks. Is there ever opportunities with these elk hunts, say either for archery or rifle, to sit over a water hole, to still hunt, decreasing the odds of seeing one, but certainly accommodating the hunter?
Not so much with us. Water hole hunting where we hunt elk is going to be tougher. I do have, we've got some hunts that are pretty good. For
mobility impaired.
Yeah, in fact, we've got a gal that we're taking out this year that's in a wheelchair. She's doing a rifle hunt. It'll be a lot more difficult with the archery equipment. She drew it's kind of a more difficult tag, but person's got some good preference points and that kind of stuff. This hunt, I expect her to do really well on a really good boy. I expect her to shoot a really, who knows? It's hunting,
right?
But it's fair chase hunting. But
I also think that ranch could provide us. This is brand new to us this year. That's why we're kind of unsure about it. But I do believe that ranch could provide us with a little more opportunities in the archery end of things for somebody in that situation.
Tree stand, ground blind type of hunting where it's a creek bottom, hay fields, that kind of stuff, where those bulls are running up and down the creek. So, we'll know after this year how well that's going to go, but it definitely is a possibility for someone that has, struggles to get around a little bit, but still has all the desire in the world to get out there and archery hunt. So
sure, and if you can accommodate them, that just broadens the scope for you guys. That's fantastic.
Sure.
It does. And, we have different ranches for different things. If we have somebody coming in that we know can't walk and has to hunt from a vehicle or a motorized ATV of some sort, we do have places and we'll adapt to those places per what they're looking for.
Now, do you have ranches across all of Wyoming in various locations, or do you try to center on one area?
We're basically based on the south, or kind of the southeast and east side of the state.
Yeah, we've got stuff from the Black Hills of Wyoming all the way down to Cheyenne. So
right.
Pretty much the east side. So
you've got just plenty of opportunity for people on both. I would think the antelope, just about everything you could find in Wyoming.
Yes.
Yeah, basically we'll start hunting archery antelope August 15th, and we'll go to archery deer and antelope September 1st, and then we'll start hunting elk around the 10th of September with archery. Then we go into rifle stuff the 1st of October for deer, elk, and antelope, and go deer, elk, and antelope on the rifle side all the way to about the 20th of November. So
I see you also offer turkey hunting. Is that done down in the Nebraska area?
We don't do a whole lot of that anymore. We've got some friends that we've had take care of most of that. So
because we're so into the spring bear hunting at that point in time, it's hard to give that up when we're hunting with our dogs and the kids and everything else at that time of year to go do the turkey hunt. So we've had some pretty good people step up and take over some of those hunts in Nebraska, as well as a couple places up here on the east side of Wyoming, a little north of us.
Speaking of that, for listeners that might not be 100% familiar, could you speak some more to that spring black bear season, using both dogs and not using dogs, and how you guys run that system?
Yes, absolutely. We start our mornings off running our hounds, and we do that because it's cooler in the mornings. We have a little bit more moisture. The hounds have a little bit better opportunity to find a track at that point in time, and we'll run in the mornings. And then if we don't catch a bear or tree a bear and are unsuccessful that day with that hunter in the morning, we'll come back and we'll have dinner, early dinner, and then they go sit baits that evening. So they get kind of two opportunities in one day for a bear. It is way more exhilarating to be running behind the dogs.
Oh, I bet.
It's a lot of fun. We hunt, the season starts April 15th, but we don't generally start hunting until
1st of May.
1st of May. We'll hunt all of May and June, basically. The first 2 weeks, of the season, we're generally, getting all the baits out, doing all the preparation and stuff. That takes a long time, get dogs in shape, all that good stuff. But it's one of our fun hunts. We come out of the show season and we're fat and tired of sitting around and talking on the phone and want to get out in the woods. So. No,
I was just going to say, and the success between the two different types during the day, it's usually about 50%, with the hounds that were successful and 50% that were successful over bait.
Most people are going to go away with a bear one way or another.
We hope so, yes.
Right.
We were 25 for 26 this year. So.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic odds. And these are all in Idaho?
Yes. It's the only state that we can still run our hounds. Well, the only state on this side over. For us.
Really?
Okay, so we cannot run hounds in Wyoming for bear. So in order to do that, we have an area in Idaho we take our dogs to and utilize over there.
Oh, fantastic. And what is, for anybody that's coming that's not an Idaho resident, are the tags just over the counter?
Yes.
Oh, so very simple.
Yep. Yeah, very simple. Yep, just buy them when you get there.
Oh, great. So no draws, nothing.
They don't even buy them until they get to the state.
Oh, what a simple process then.
Yep.
So let's go back to Wyoming for a minute, because in talking with people at the Wyoming Game and Fish, I was always under the impression that there was some landowner tags, and they were indicating that that's not the case. And so you really need to put in and really need to plan if you want to hunt Wyoming.
Yes,
absolutely.
Planning is key for out here. We have a drawing system that you have to know and understand. And if you don't know and understand we do that for everybody that comes out and hunts with us. But one thing that you can always say to somebody that's wanting to come out, even if it's not this year, next year, but if they're planning to hunt Wyoming ever in the future, they need to start purchasing preference points now.
Amen to that.
And there's a lot of areas that we can, they'll have either leftovers or easy draws, that kind of stuff. But most, the elk, a lot of the elk are a little more difficult. We'll help out with all that. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we get all of our, we get all the tags for our hunters. Do all the legwork. So just keep it simple for all our hunters. So.
Oh, great! And I'll tell the listeners, you guys go right to the show notes. You'll be able to access Table Mountain Outfitters website with a Contact Us page. Contact Angie and Scott. Yep. Start working on those preference points. You want a good bull, you're going to need some preference points, but you're going to get it out of that state.
Yes, yep. Absolutely.
We got the state has a great success rate as a whole. It's one of the more successful western states as it comes to success. So deer, elk, and antelope for sure.
Well, as you moved along and you built this business up, what led to the TV series? How did you get involved with your television show?
We had a lot of television shows come asking to hunt with us, and we did it for years, and actually knew a good friend of ours who'd come over and over, and that's Dave Watson. And he just kept looking at us going, why are you doing this for everybody else? You should be doing it for yourself. And so we finally just decided to take a camera with us and film what we were doing. And it's kind of just grown from there.
And now you have the show on The Life with Scott and Angie.
Yep.
Denny. That premieres on both the Sportsman's Channel, and then the neat thing is, for so many people, if they don't have cable anymore and they're watching TV through various streaming options, there is now a subscription service that they can get to watch not only Scott and Angie, but a number of different shows. And Angie, can you talk to that a little bit?
Yes, it's called My Outdoor TV. You can subscribe to that. It's just like a Netflix, that type of format, but it's all outdoor programming. So what you can do is you can download whatever shows you want to take with you for the day that you've missed. Say you missed Lee and Tiffany the other day and you want to see them, what they did. You can take that, download it, and take it with you and catch up while you're traveling or on a plane or whatever. It's really kind of a neat service. And, somebody brought something up to me the other day, which I thought was kind of a neat idea. There's a lot of service men and women overseas that don't have access to cable or satellite or anything anymore, but they can still get online and download this stuff. So it might be a subscription that you get for a loved one overseas that can't necessarily keep up on what's going on during the season.
What a great idea. Easy to subscribe to. You go in there and there'll be a link at lifeattablemountain.com has a link that you can follow either to the Table Mountain Outfitters website to watch videos or subscribe to this My Outdoor TV.
Yes, absolutely.
So as we go along with the TV show, you've raised your kids in this environment. And do they want to follow in the footsteps, or are they looking somewhere else?
They still live it with us each and every day. And our daughter's away at college right now. Actually, she's sitting here listening to us have this conversation and kind of chuckling as it's happening. But, she's away at college right now, and she still comes home when she can on the weekends to help us out. And our son, we always said that he doesn't get out of bed in the mornings unless it's hunting or hockey. And, so he's really interested in continuing on. And I imagine that they'll both want to be a part of it at some point, for a long time to come. I just don't know if it's something that they want to do solely at this point in time.
Sure.
At least they're trying to broaden their horizons right now.
Right.
Well, and that's always good. So I'm glad you're listening at least to half of the conversation. Actually on speaker, you can hear it all.
Oh, yeah.
And so when we've got somebody coming, and again, I love to talk about the draw system for the different states and how that chimes in. But since we're talking about the life at Table Mountain, how many episodes, is this a year-round film, or do you film for only a certain amount of time?
Right now we're only doing first and second quarter. So we film the entire season when we're out in the field, but we edit it down to only 13 episodes, and then it runs first and second quarter of each year.
Okay.
But we have run year-round. It's too much for us to keep up with.
When you put it out there first and second quarter, does it repeat then through the third and fourth quarter?
No.
It'll run first quarter and then repeat second quarter.
Got it. So that makes the subscription service even that much more valuable if you want to catch up and you're not available to watch at that particular time.
Right.
Absolutely.
You mentioned show season. That I know keeps people crazy busy. Which shows do you all attend?
We really mainly SHOT Show, ATA. It's not really consumer-based shows that we go to, but it more for the television show and to keep our relationships with all of our partners and corporations, and just to see everybody each year. That's our one chance to catch up with all of our friends in the industry.
We do Northeast Michigan chapter Safari Club out of Michigan, Northeast Michigan chapter. We do that in first week of March.
Mm-hmm.
Where in Michigan do you head to?
In Traverse City.
Okay. Yeah,
we do that one out of Traverse City. Even though that's on the west side of the state, and it's the northeast chapter, but they do their banquet out of Traverse City. So
that has become like another family to us out there.
Oh, neat. Yeah, I'm originally from Michigan, so I was just curious which chapter you were working with. Do you know the state very well?
I lived there for 11 years.
Okay. I grew up just north of Port Huron.
Okay. I graduated high school out of Charlevoix, Michigan. So.
Oh, sure. On the other side of the state.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Right north of Traverse City there. So.
Yep.
And that's just him, not me.
Nope. That's a good area. But you head to the Safari Club show there, but none of the big consumer ones like the Dallas Safari Club show or the SCI convention.
We've done them in the past, and we're hoping to get back to a couple of those bigger shows this coming season. We've done a couple other little shows in between time, and we're really ready to get back to the NRA and the Safari Club shows that we've been missing for the last 5 or 6 years.
Done the NRA Harrisburg show for the last, I don't know.
Oh, quite a while.
8, 9 years, 10 years, something like that. We're not probably going back this year just because we've done it so long. We thought we'd try some other, shows this year.
Go back to a couple of the other ones.
Exactly. We haven't made our mind up what we're going to do yet, but the Harrisburg one's been great people, a lot of fun. It's just trying to, switch it up a little bit.
Oh, sure. As you move through all the different shows, you'll run into different people, and that's great that you've been hitting the East Coast ones.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Those are that Harrisburg show is huge from what I understand.
It's an awesome show.
It is.
Great folks.
It really is.
Super good time.
So what's next for the show? What is your vision for the life? Is it to expand it to a longer show or keep it as is?
Just probably keep it the same length. It seems to be working pretty well for us right now. Of course, just trying to get better.
Increase the quality and just how we do things. Maybe just touch it up a little bit every year.
Yeah, just trying to give a little facelift as we go, and hopefully get some more viewers, that kind of stuff. But just keep working hard and showing people what we do every day.
Well, it's neat because when you look at the shows, you can watch a progression as the camera gets better, as the people get comfortable on film. Mm-hmm. And if I understand right, for somebody that's coming out to hunt with Table Mountain Outfitters, they can actually go in and have you guys film the episode, not necessarily for the show, but just for their own use.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And there's always a chance to have it get on the show, that kind of stuff. There's always some criteria. Of course, we got to use take care of the sponsors and stuff like that. We can't have a lot of conflicts, that kind of stuff. But
sure.
But we, the show is about the customer. It's about us, and our interaction with them. It's not really about, us. It's about us and our hunters together. So,
So as we go into the different animals that you hunt, I'm just sitting here looking it's like a checklist of what I'd love to hunt. Mm-hmm. When you look at say the mule deer or the elk, is there any particular hunt that stands out as not your favorite necessarily, but one that was like, oh, geez, I either love to do this again or, gosh, I hope I never run into this situation again?
One thing that we caught on film our second year is the elk fight footage that we had, and that's probably the most memorable.
Absolutely.
And we hope to recreate that again someday, but it'll be really tough.
That's next to impossible. We got out of the truck that day, and it was our hunter's last day, and he had been hunting for a long time and had a lot of close encounters, but nothing ever kind of came through for him. And we heard those elk up on the hill, and we knew they were up there, and we heard the two bulls starting to fight. And both Scott and I just looked at each other and knew we had to get there as quickly as possible. We ran to the top of that hill, and we were standing 10 feet at one point, and then we had to back up 10 yards just so we weren't run over. And the adrenaline that's going through at that point in time, and I don't know how our hunter kept his cool, because on one side of him, he had Scott telling him, shoot, don't shoot. And then on the other side, he had me telling him, shoot, don't shoot, waiting for the right opportunity. And he kept it together, and he waited for the right shot at the right time and absolutely drilled that bull. So and then we all turn around and look at the camera guy going, did you get that?
You're certainly hoping that he got that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the short version. It was quite the adventure getting there.
It was.
Ended up being about we were walking with the herd for about 3-4 miles, in and out, elk bugling everywhere, and it was quite the adventure. But
it took most of the day.
Yeah.
But that last little glimpse is what everybody gets to see. But that was the adrenaline rush right there. Yep. All of that work and all of that walking came together.
Oh, fantastic.
And it was right at the end of the hunt. It was really cool. So it was really neat.
I guess elk hunting is probably, elk and antelope are probably two of your bigger items, but it sounds like your spring bear is really going.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say antelope is probably the top of the list, just because there's so many. We can do numbers.
Yeah, we do a lot of numbers. We do, we do the most is antelope. Then number 2 is mule deer. Number 3 is elk, and elk and bear about the same. And
it's just because the numbers of where we're at and how we're managing those herds as well.
Oh, okay. And some of the other things you looked at.
We do mountain lion in Idaho.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, that's also with your dogs?
Yes, absolutely.
Explain.
That's about the only way to be successful with a mountain lion hunt is with dogs.
And tell the listeners, when you're setting up a mountain lion hunt, again, for many that come from the East Coast, or even down here, we shoot them on ranches if you see them. But running with dogs is kind of a unique opportunity. Talk a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind.
The mountain lion hunt, it's you're hoping Mother Nature helps you out a little bit. That one's the snow helps. There's not mountain lions running around like deer and elk and that kind of stuff. So we go out and look for tracks in the snow, and we're trying for nice toms. You can generally tell by the size of the track if it's a tom or a female, or maybe a female with kittens. And once we find a nice tom that we'd like to try and harvest, we'll get the dogs and see if they can catch them. And sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. But it's a little more involved than that. That's kind of the short version, but that's basically how we do it.
And do you do a lot of those in any given year? Is it been a successful?
No. It's very successful. We run real high success on those hunts, but we don't do a lot of them. We do 4 to 6 a year.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, very cool. I've seen it done. I've watched videos of it. It looks like a really intense hunt, a lot of tracking, as you said, and then all of a sudden complete chaos once the dogs are loose and on their intended target. So what an adrenaline rush.
It is. It really is.
And for people that are
following the dogs on anything is an adrenaline rush. They amaze me of what they can do with just their noses.
What kind of dogs are you using?
We use walker hounds, Treen walkers.
Oh, so they got to love that.
They do, absolutely. And, that's what their job is, and they know it. And the excitement that they have is really, really catchy.
Some people that may listen and you go out there and you do these mountain lion hunts and black bear hunts, and people will go, why?
Uh-huh.
Now, the neat thing is, I know this and you know this, but both of those animals are completely edible.
They are, absolutely.
And so does the person take the meat with them generally?
They, in the state of Idaho, they don't have to. However, there's quite a few that actually still take it home, and just for that reason, because they are completely edible. There's a lot of things you can do with those kind of meats. I mean, bear meat is kind of a greasier substance, so you can do a lot with it, and it doesn't get dried out as fast as some of the other wild game meats do.
What is mountain lion like?
It's more like a pork.
It's a drier pork because it doesn't have a lot of fat in it.
No.
It's different. It's something you want to do in stews and chilies and stuff like that, just because it is a little bit drier.
Some of the best green chili I've ever had was mountain lion.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a great flavor. The flavor's great. It's just a little drier because they're just really not much for fat content.
Oh, very neat. Yeah, I've not had mountain lion. I've had African lion, and I would imagine it's similar. And it was prepared, just as you said, more in a stew.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So pretty much all that's edible. So anybody that sits there and goes, why do you shoot them? You've got to control predators. You have to use that as a means to control for the mule deer and everything else.
Absolutely.
And, we've preached it and said it over and over and over again, but until you actually get out there and do it, a hunted population is a healthy population. And our bear population in Idaho is incredible right now. And it's just because they are a haunted population, and one of the only ways to really manage them properly is with dogs. And
is any bear legal, or as long as it's not, say, a sow with cubs?
Right. You cannot shoot a sow with cubs inside. That's one thing that the dogs allow us to do, is we can be very selective. We can take our time and make sure that we're not shooting a sow, because we can take the time to find the cubs in the tree, or we can tell if she's a wet sow, or, we know what we have in the tree before we take it.
Sure, it gives you some time to watch.
Absolutely.
So now if somebody listening says, geez, I really want to hunt Wyoming for elk or antelope or mule deer, first step is to contact you. And what do you do from there on to help them get that dream hunt of theirs?
Well, the first thing you do is, see what they're interested. See if we have a hunt that fits their vision. If you're looking for a wilderness horseback elk hunt, we're not a good place to go. If you're looking for a 400-inch bull, we're not a very good place to go. We've never shot a 400-inch bull ever. Probably never will. But if you're looking for a private land, fair chase, successful hunt on quality game, we're a good place to go.
Once we figure out what kind of hunt that they want to do, then we'll work through the licenses. Which license to put in for, which drawing to put in for, whether they have preference points or don't have preference points.
And we'll put them in for the draw.
Right. We do all of that for them, but we have to work through with them to find out what they have, what they don't have, and then get them set up the best we can for the next drawing.
And then we'll figure out if it's going to be, in 2018 or 2019, if they want one of our hard to draw units, it may take a little while to draw. But we've had some other areas that are easy to draw. It just depends on what the person's looking for, and try and cater our hunt to them.
Well, you say you've never shot a 400-inch bull, which is great. That's from what I've watched on the videos and the pictures on your website. These might not be 400-inch bulls, but you couldn't ask for prettier elk with the perfect symmetry. Right. and I don't care if it's 400 or not. These are beautiful animals. So that's what you're going home with is, if you're successful as a beautiful animal.
Absolutely, and that's just it. We're after nice, quality, representative animals, and we do really well with that. We know what we're good at, and we try and
stick to what we're good at.
Yeah, exactly. We failed on a bunch of things. We're trying to stick with the good stuff.
You're doing it. I encourage folks, and again, I thank you, Scott and Angie, for your time. One of the things I want to do with the listeners is head over to the show notes. You'll be able to go right to Table Mountain Outfitters website, their website for the life, and their YouTube channel. And then you guys are broadcast on the Sportsman Channel, which can be found on DirecTV or Dish Network. Or if you don't have cable, subscribe to it through the My Outdoor TV, where you're going to get not only Scott and Angie, everybody else too. You're going to get a hunting overdose.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what we hope, anyway.
There's some great shows on there. There's some great folks.
So I thank you for your time. I'm going to have links. I hope people head out, get your brochure, watch the videos, get hyped up for elk hunting, antelope, anything that, Wyoming has become my state of the moment. I just absolutely am floored. I buy my trifecta lottery tickets every year. And so between Wyoming Game and Fish and Table Mountain Outfitters, you can't ask for a better partnership. And I encourage folks to go out there and contact Scott and Angie for any of your questions. Well, thank you guys for your time. And I really look forward to, hopefully we'll see you at the Dallas Safari Club show. It's always good to talk to somebody that spent some time in Michigan. So that's neat to know. And you get those little nuggets you find out.
Absolutely.
I wish you all the best of luck, and I can't wait to see what happens going forward. And I really thank you for your time.
Absolutely, you bet.
You guys have a great day.
Thanks. You too, Jayson.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Come early spring, it's getting green. Fish are on the bed, and hear those turkeys gobble. It's ringing in my head. The winterized bass boat, here comes another year. Yeah, we command the outdoors around here. Oh, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Come summertime, we're feeling fine, fishing on the lake, flipping jigs in Carolina rigs, from early morning till real late. Bonfires on the creek bank, kick back a couple beers. Yeah, we command the outdoors around here. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Next year's doves until you know winter's on the way. Brushing blinds and deer stands, the fever starts to creep. Fill our freezers full of ducks, lots of tender deer. Yeah, we command the outdoors around here. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. So grab your guns and shells, boys. Put on your camouflage, 'cause we command the outdoors around here.